All right, and let's get into our predicted lineup. Tottenham against Fulham this weekend. It's actually a massive game in terms of the injury situation. Ange has been speaking in the press conference. What have we got?
So no new injuries from the weekend, which is very important. Romero, he said, is close, but he's closer, but he's not going to rule him out, but he's unlikely to play this weekend. Obviously, Richarlison, Udogie, they're all remaining out. Van de Ven is still at least a week away, but he's back on grass, which is really encouraging. Obviously, Vicario is a long-term injury. Bentancur suspended. Mikey Moore, I'm guessing, is still out, but what's interesting, I did see him on the sidelines yesterday, so... You know, I don't know if he has a virus. Why is he at the game? I don't know, but I don't know if he's still got it or what's going on there. But he didn't seem to mention him.
Paul O'Keefe did say that the recovery time from the virus is 3 to 4 weeks, so that suggests that he's over the virus.
But he's at the game. All right, so maybe he's not contagious, which is good. But there you go. It looks like Mikey Moore is still out. So it's quite an extensive list there of players injured, isn't it?
All right, so in goal, 4-3-3 as always. We're going to go for Big Fraser Forster, who did himself a really big service last night.
Yeah, really encouraging display from Fraser. Obviously, a lot of worry about him after the injury to Vicario. But it's easy to forget this is a goalkeeper with a lot of Premier League experience. He's played at this level for many, many years, so this isn't going to be anything new to him. So hopefully he can take that experience into this run of games that he's going to have. And if he makes more saves like he did yesterday, then we'll be all right.
Right back, I assume it's going to be Pedro, but I think there is also a good place. There's a good case to play Spence as well. I mean, I think it probably will be Pedro though.
I think it will be Pedro. The only reason for me to play Spence would be for fitness reasons. Because obviously Pedro had a good performance against Man City on the weekend. Not so good in midweek, but we have a lot of games coming up. We're going to play every midweek, and Spence does have to get up to speed at some point because he's going to be needed over the next few weeks. Obviously, Gray can also play at fullback, and clearly Ange's preferred him so far. Especially that Carabao Cup game, he played Gray, didn't play Spence.
I think Spence might have been injured for that game, though.
He might have been injured, but still Gray's been obviously playing at fullback in the Europa League as well, but obviously Spence is ineligible. I have a feeling Spence might play one of this game or the Bournemouth game, and if I was Ange, I'll play Porro here, Spence on Thursday, and then Porro against Chelsea, because obviously we're going to need Porro in that game for sure. And you'd rather have a fresh Porro for that game than have a fresh Porro for Thursday.
But does that mean you're playing Spence in the Cup as well against Man U?
Not necessarily, because there's a how many days break between Chelsea and United?
4 days.
It's done Sunday to Thursday.
Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday.
So that should be all right. You can play Porro in the Cup and then maybe Spence again on the weekend potentially, or Gray even. So I think Porro will start.
All right, Porro right back, right centre back will be Radu Dragusin. Obviously, with Romero, I don't think he's going to make it in time, but probably Romero will be back to play the game against Bournemouth.
Yeah, sounds like it. He said he's close. He said unlikely to play. Dragusin, last couple of games has been all right after a poor showing in against Ipswich and Galatasaray. I think last couple of games have been decent, especially the City game showed what he can do. Obviously, Raul Jimenez coming into really good form this season, isn't he? And he's obviously a very good player when it comes to holding the ball up, and tricky customer, isn't he, Raul Jimenez? He's getting back into his best form. So
true. He has dropped off the last couple of weeks a little bit, though.
Yeah, but he's still a threat. He's still free, still physical presence, and he's been a lot better this season as he has been last few seasons.
Yeah, that's
true. Definitely a different kind of animal we're going to be facing. So they're going to have to be on their game, especially Radu, who's obviously the physical threat in that back line.
Left centre back is obviously going to be Ben Davis. Van de Ven not there yet, but it does look like he is going to be back fairly soon. But Ben Davis, Mr. Reliable, he hasn't put a foot wrong this season, really.
Yeah, I think he's been really solid. Ben Davis, whenever he's come in, a lot of people obviously worried with Van de Ven's injury, but Ben Davis has just been a big part of our team in big moments. City in the Cup, Villa in the league, City away in the league, pretty much all our best performances, Ben Davis has been there. So I've got no worries about him at the moment coming into this team. But again, Jimenez, big physical threat as well, very good aerially, and whether Davis can keep him out on that point, we'll have to wait and see. Albeit Davis is underrated in the air, I would say. Hotspur just going to have to make sure we can maybe stop in that supply there. But and Radu as well, going to have to make sure aerially they're stopping Jimenez.
And then left back will be the rested Destiny Udogie, who didn't get any minutes last night, which is pretty good for him. Hopefully he's fit and firing and back at it on Sunday.
Yeah, and he had to play a lot of football, didn't he, pre the international break? He was one who wasn't getting much rest and was coming into games early as well because of injuries and stuff like that. So hopefully this will have a good bearing on his performance. Hopefully he can improve his performance on this basis. So yeah, I'm happy that Destiny got that rest on the weekend. It's something that they have good wingers. Fulham, they are very good in wide areas. Maybe it could be Adama Traore, it could be Reece Nelson, it could be Iwobi, whoever it is. They're tricky customers and they have good delivery. So Destiny's gonna have to be on his A game.
Yeah, absolutely. Moving into the midfield, we are going to look at Yves Bissouma in the number 6, who came on last night, did really well. And, ever since the balloon gate, he's been putting in a shift for the team. So I've got no worries about Bissouma coming in.
Yeah, I think he had a good cameo in midweek against Roma as well. Thought came on and did really well. I think he's been, as you say, having a good season. Angel was actually asked about him in his presser as well, because of the whole thing. He at the beginning of the season, Balloon Gate, he was asked, has Bissouma earned the trust of his teammates back, which he said he was going to have to do. And he said he never really lost it. It was just a case of he had to make better decisions. And it never wasn't the case that Bissouma was in the last chance saloon because of what he did. It was just more of a case of you got to understand why what happened, and we got to work through with him to make better decisions in regards to what he does outside of football. So he said he hasn't had a problem with him since then, and he's actually become a bit of a leader in the team. So he's been pretty happy with him, and I think he's had a pretty good season. Obviously, no João Palhinha anymore for Fulham. They do have the likes of Sander Berge in the middle, so not easy. They do like to play Andreas Pereira as well in the middle now, like a bit deeper. So he's going to have to make sure he's patrolling that area, but they're not kind of as good as they were in the middle, I felt like, without João Palhinha, but they also make up for it in different ways.
Now where it gets a bit tricky in the midfield, because you got Decky, you got Maddison, you got Pape, and you got Brennan on the right-hand side. It's just a question of do we revert the same way as we did against Man City, with Decky on the right, drop Brennan to the bench and bring Maddison back in with Pape Matar there? Or does Brennan stay out wide and is one of Maddison or Sarr dropped to the bench? I'm still a bit undecided in which way he's going to go. But if I'm going to make... my prediction would probably be Decky on the right, to be honest. I do think Brennan might drop down to the bench and use him as an impact sub late on, maybe with like 20 minutes to go. So Sarr, I'll probably put Sarr in the midfield.
Yeah, I think Sarr keeps his place. I think Fulham are very underrated this season. I know I've just talked about the midfield, but Pereira, Berge and Smith Rowe, very technical players, but also good running power in the middle there with them as well. And we're going to need Sarr to make sure that, especially people like Smith Rowe and Pereira, they're not getting too much joy in the middle there. And I think with Sarr's increase in his technical ability and all these different things, I think having him back in the middle shouldn't take too much away from our attacking game. And as well, he's quite good in transition. So I do think Sarr will come in there. And I think Maddison, where is he? Maddison will come in next to him here as well in the number 10.
Yeah, so Sarr, Maddison, Bissouma. So we're basically saying the same lineup against Man City.
Well, why would you change that lineup?
Yeah, we played brilliantly, but we're not going to be put under the same pressure from Fulham as we will from Man City. It's a different kind of game, though, isn't it?
Of course. But look, Fulham have been very good this season. I mean, you can't take it lightly. Obviously, we're going to put Decky out on this right-hand side. I actually think what crucial role Decky's going to have in this game is Anthony Robinson is so... I think that very few players have the running power that Robinson has. He can run down that left-hand side all day, all night. And then maybe the only one who can match him is Decky, really, stride for stride. And maybe that's a good reason, a good excuse to put him in from the start on that side, because he's been great this season. And I think he's got an unbelievable engine. And similar to Decky's, I think, in a way. And I think we might need Decky's support for the fullback.
You know what? That might be a good reason as well to put Spence there, because I think Spence has more running power as well than Pedro Porro.
Yeah, it's not a bad reason as well.
And Spence as well might have might do better in terms of the overlapping to Kulusevski, because I want to see Kulusevski come inside like he did against Man United. I know Porro did a good job actually overlapping Kulusevski at the Etihad, but I just feel like with Robinson there, it could be better actually to play Spence in this game and then to play Pedro Porro in the Bournemouth game.
Maybe. I just think he will play Porro here. I think I would still play Porro, to be honest.
It feels up to me. I'd actually play Spence, but I agree with you. I think he will go for Porro. But if it was up to me, I would actually play Spence in this game.
We don't even know if Spence is the option. He might even go for Gray if it's not Porro.
But I mean, I just would go for Spence.
Fair enough.
But anyway, let's go to the left flank, and it's going to be Son Heung-min. Got taken off with 20 minutes to go last night, so hopefully a bit of freshness there. And he's been looking pretty good since the return from his injury, so got no problems putting in the captain, the talisman, Sonny out on the left.
Yeah, for sure. And he obviously came off with how long to go yesterday? 20 minutes to go. I thought, again, looking sharp in the first half. Second half, maybe not as much, which a bit of a concern and a bit of a theme with him recently. A bit of a drop-offs in second halves and being taken off early. But we're definitely going to need his quality in this game, and he's going to come up against probably Timothy Castagna on that right hand side, who is a good technical fullback. And again, not an easy player to play against.
You
but
can get him behind him.
Yeah, Sonny will back himself to cause him problems.
And then up front will be big Dom Solanke. Hopefully he can finish off those chances that he does get that he didn't do last night. But Solanke, obviously, we know what he's going to bring. Hard work, grit, pressing, dropping deep, hold up play. We just need to get him on the end of these chances and actually put them in the back of the net.
Yeah, he actually had a bit of an issue. Ange was saying after the game he looked like his groin was a bit sore, he said. But he said he shouldn't be a problem for the weekend. He looks absolutely fine. But hopefully, nothing too much flares up over the next couple of days, because he's going to be very important. Fulham missing Joachim Maddison in this game. So he's obviously a big player, a big passing avenue that they have. They will have two physical players, though, instead in Bassi and Diop, who will try and bully him and will try and outmuscle him, and he's going to have to get the better of them.
Yeah. So let's run through the lineup with you guys one more time. It's Fraser Forster in goal, left back Destiny Udogie, right back Pedro Porro, Radu Dragusin and Ben Davis in the back two, with Pape Matar, Yves Bissouma and James Maddison in the middle three, with Big Dom Solanke supported by Son Heung-min and Dejan Kulusevski. Do you feel like in the middle three it will be that double pivot with Sonny and Bissouma?
I think so. Yeah. I think we'll maybe recently be moving away a bit from the single pivot, because it's just too much work for our sixes at the moment. I think having Sarr helping them out is really improving their performances as well.
All right, well, that is our predicted lineup. Do you agree? Do you disagree? Let us know in the comments section. If you do disagree, let us know your lineups in the comments section below.